Welcome to Four Wheels in a Seat. My name is Alex Dalrymple and today I find myself here in the Yarra Valley just outside of Melbourne where BMW have brought me for the media launch of the brand new X1. And don't forget that I review a new car each week. To find out when they drop, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Right, now onto the new X1. This car is now in its third generation and it has grown a bit in every dimension. It sort of looks like a slightly shrunken X3, but that's not really a problem because the X3 is a really good looking car. This being the media launch, I'm just going to give you a quick walk around of this car, plus I think it's probably going to rain any minute, so let's just have a quick look at the outside of the car before we head inside. We've got a new front grille here that's a little bit bigger and a bit flatter than the previous car. It's not as big as the controversial 4 Series grille, of course. Some brand new LEDs that look really good. We've got a tiny little fake grille here, but that's okay because it's next to two real ones here on either side. A nice aggressive look for the front of the X1. This particular car is a top spec X1. It's the 20i M Sport, so it has a slightly different body kit to the regular version, a little less chrome. We've got M Sport wheels. They're 20 inches. In fact, 20-inch wheels is now standard on all X1s. I really like the profile look of this car, especially these door handles that are flush with the sheet metal. Up on top, we've got some roof racks, a panoramic sunroof, and it's a really good look, especially in this particular shade of blue. At the back here, we've got new LED light clusters, which are very similar to the ones that we've seen in the X3 SUV. They look really, really good, but check out this boot. For a subcompact SUV, to have a boot this big is unbelievable. It's 540 litres, and all this storage, even under the floor. I mean, that's as big as a Mazda 6 boot. It's huge. At launch, there are two models available. The 18i, which comes with a 3-cylinder 1.5 litre petrol engine and outputs 115 kilowatts and 230 newton meters of torque. And this one, the 20i, which comes with a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine outputting 150 kilowatts and 300 newton meters of torque. This M Sport variant also scores adaptive suspension and the chassis has been lowered for a more dynamic driving experience. Inside, and it's a whole new world with the X1 picking up the same interior as the iX, only it's been shrunken down a little bit. So we've got dual 10-inch LED screens which run the latest iDrive 8 software. The navigation system on this car has actually been specifically designed to run over 3 screens, including the head-up display. BMW have actually created a little sort of nickname for it called Act, Locate and Inform, one for each screen, and they basically talk about the varying levels of zoom you can have with the navigation system. The center console screen also has augmented reality, giving you animated arrows for when you're turning corners, which is actually a really, really good function. Like a lot of car makers, BMW are putting a lot of functionality into their center console screen, and that means a lot less buttons here in the cockpit. So there's actually almost none. Instead, we do get a big center phone charger here in the middle, which sort of dominates the center console here, along with a couple of cup holders and 2 USB-C ports. Drive controls here on a nice little floating console here in the middle. There's no real center console bin as such. We have this giant area just underneath this island here where you can store a handbag or anything you want, really. The driving position is actually a bit higher than I'm used to for a BMW. Most BMWs are kind of a bit low and sporty, but this one's set up a little bit higher. Apparently that's quite a deliberate thing because BMW want a range of different body shapes to be comfortable here in the new X1. But it is a good position because I can see right to the front. There's good visibility in the blind spots and also through the rear window there with the rear vision mirror. Now, the other big announcement that BMW have made, and they just told us this today, is that they are extending their warranty across their entire range of cars to 5 years. Now, this is a pretty monumental thing for them to do because BMW have been noticeably shorter than everybody else with only a 3-year warranty, and now taking it up to 5 is bringing them into line with most other car manufacturers, except those who do 7 or 10, of course. But anyway, 5 is really, really good. So that's a big deal, and they're actually backdating it to the beginning of October. So if you bought a new BMW from October 1 onwards, it's covered now by a 5-year warranty. So this is my first time driving the M Sport variant of the 20i, and It does feel just a little bit more dynamic than the regular 20i. I mean, as it should. It's got M Sport suspension and it's also been lowered slightly. So it does have a bit more of a sporty sort of feel to it. The steering just feels just a little bit more sort of connected to the road, for the want of a better term. So this is a bit more of an engaging car to drive, as you'd expect from a BMW M Sport. The steering wheel has a nice chunky feel to it. I wasn't always a fan of BMW steering wheels. They just felt a little bit too big in the hand for me, but I'm actually really liking this one. It has a really good feel to it. Nice leather wrap with stitching. It feels premium. We also have a couple of paddle shifters behind the wheel here, and one of them is labelled Boost. What do you reckon that does? Ooh. Well, it drops down a gear and gives us a little kick in the pants, and a big boost sign comes on the digital instrument cluster. That was fun. Even though these roads are very wet and full of potholes, I do feel really confident driving this car. It just feels so well planted to the road. We're not going anywhere other than around the bend, and we're not losing any traction while we're doing it. There are a lot of potholes though, as there has been, whoa, I think I just drove straight into that one. There are a lot of potholes though, as is the case all across the eastern part of Australia anyway, just because we've had so much rain lately. So I am trying not to break BMW's brand new X1 here by avoiding them. Sorry. I'm loving the new graphics on the instrument cluster from the new iDrive 8 system. These come straight out of the all-electric iX. And they're being rolled out across all of BMW's new cars as they're released, and it's a vast improvement over the old system. Although I did like the old one, I was, really comfortable with it. This sort of feels more like an evolution of that, and it looks really good. The thing I really like about the form factor of the X1 is that, interestingly, it's actually bigger than the X2. I know that doesn't really seem logical, but it's the way it is. So this is a car you could potentially have with a small family. If you had 2 kids, they might get a little bit squashed, but certainly with your first child, this is a good family car, and it's dynamic enough that you can actually have some serious fun with it on the weekend. This car's list of standard safety features has grown a bit since the last model, and you can see a few of them listed on the screen now. You can see that it's pretty well stocked for standard safety gear. One thing that's not standard though is seat heating and steering wheel heating, which BMW have copped a little bit of flack about. So you can pay a one-off fee and get them for life when you buy the car new. Or you can have a subscription model where you can pay for seat heating for a few months or a few years, and after that runs out, it's up to you whether you renew it or not. So the functionality is always there in the car, but you can turn it on and off as you like. So you could sell this car with its seat heating turned on, and then the next buyer might decide that they don't want it and switch it off. Good to have the flexibility, I suppose. The BMW X1 18i starts at $53,900 and the 20i starts at $65,900. The all-electric iX1 will be coming in the first quarter of next year, priced at $83,000. I'll be doing more in-depth reviews of those cars when I get them. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled to Four Wheels in the Seat to see them.